Welcome to the next session of Teacher Summer Talks, a presentation worthy of the Teacher Picks section of 1997's finest blockbuster. No late fees here, just quick hit strategies and ideas you'll want to rewind and re-listen. Be sure to log your sticker challenge progress. Think of it like earning free rentals for life.
Welcome, teachers. My name is Lisa, and I am the founder of ThinkTankTeacher.com, where my mission is to help you cloak the learning with a twist of fun. And I know that summertime is precious, and sometimes it is your only chance to catch your breath. But that's why this audio summit was built with you in mind. It is packed with helpful tips, ideas, and inspiration, all in a format that fits your busy summer schedule. And I am super excited to be back again for this year's summit. And this time we are focusing on first impressions in the classroom. Today's students live in a world of instant gratification. They can stream their favorite shows. They can get answers from Google faster than they can even raise their hands. So, when they walk into a classroom and they are met with the same old icebreakers, yet again, it's no wonder they check out. More than likely, students are spending the first few days of school filling out yet another get to know you worksheet or playing Find Someone Who for the third year in a row. And while those activities aren't bad, they're not exactly memorable. And honestly, who can blame them? First impressions matter. And if you're doing those types of activities, it is screaming to the students, same old, and dare I say, boring. If you want to grab your students' attention and keep them engaged from day one, you've got to start strong. With the right start, you can spark their curiosity from day one. So how do you do that? How do you create that hook? You know, the thing that makes the students sit up, lean in, and actually want to participate? I am going to cover some easy, fun, and effective ways to make sure your students walk away from your classroom thinking, wow, this class is going to be awesome. So the first thing I want you to do is ditch the day one lectures. Let's talk about that first day of school. Your students walk into the classroom, some of them extremely nervous, some of them excited, and some that are already counting down to lunch. And then what happens? They sit down, they find their seat, they listen. They hear the same spiel about rules, procedures, and expectations in every single classroom. But as a teacher, you know that students don't learn routines by hearing them. They learn by doing. No one remembers day one when it is just a series of sit and get lectures. So if you want students to be excited about your class, to actually looking forward to coming back on day two, you need to make that first day memorable. Day one is not just another day. It is the day. It is the one that sets the tone for your entire year. Now, there's certainly a time and place for rules and procedures, but in my opinion, not on the first day. The first day should feel more like an experience, something that sparks their curiosity, that builds connections, that makes them think, wow, I think I'm going to like this class. So instead of jumping straight into expectations, try starting with something way more powerful. And what's better the first week of school than talking about growth mindset? I like to tell my students that it's okay to fail. I let them know that messing up isn't just allowed in my classroom, but it's also expected. Learning isn't about getting everything correct or perfect the first time. When your students understand that the struggle is part of the learning process, it can turn those I can't mentalities into I'm going to learn how. And that is the real first lesson of the year. The best classrooms aren't built on rule lists. We know that it is built on relationships, engagement, and a whole lot of learning magic where your students feel valued, they feel understood, and they're more motivated to participate and take risks. So I want you to think about this. What if you kicked things off this school year with an engaging, hands-on challenge that gets your kids thinking, moving, and excited to be in your class? That is where a growth mindset cube code comes in. This activity is all about famous people who overcame obstacles with a positive growth mindset. This lesson is a winning combination of stations, close reading, comprehension skills, coloring, secret codes, cut and paste, citing evidence, critical thinking, everything a teacher dreams of wrapped into one fun and engaging activity. This isn't just busy work. This is high energy, brain boosting puzzles that get your students hooked to learning from day one. So the key here is to find an activity that flips the script, that gets your students out of their seats, that fosters teamwork, that fosters problem solving and critical thinking, and that shows them that mistakes are part of the journey. By the time you do go over the rules and procedures, your students will already know that your classroom is a place where mistakes are okay and learning is anything but boring. So what makes growth mindset so powerful? Well, have you ever done an escape room in your classroom before? If so, you already know it is pure magic. It is the kind of lesson where every single student is engaged, moving, thinking, and working together. Students aren't going to remember a lecture about expectations, but an interactive escape room adventure where they get to unlock clues or crack a code. Hello, that's the kind of first day experience that sticks. Did you know that kids usually decide their favorite subject or their favorite teacher that very first week of school based on how the class makes them feel and how connected they feel to their teacher? They tend to love subjects where they feel confident and where they can experience small wins. So hint, hint, an escape room will bring out the best in all of your learners. You might even be surprised at who emerges as a leader. With a growth mindset escape room, students can work in teams to solve their puzzles, to answer questions, to decode clues, all while actively learning about famous failures who embraced a growth mindset to overcome challenges. So working through these unfamiliar puzzles encourages them to shift fear from a failure mindset to a focus on growth and learning, no matter how many times they have to start over on the puzzle. If you start your year with an escape room, you will see 100% student engagement. Seriously, even your reluctant learners will be all in. You will encourage collaboration from day one. You will build confidence and you will set the tone for the classroom. So start the year with something fun and interactive, and your students will be eager to return for more. Now, escape rooms are all about working together to solve puzzles. So this sets the stage for teamwork throughout the school year as they help each other and problem solve as a group. They think critically, which is perfect for setting the tone of active learning. And it helps students get into the right kind of mindset. By the time you do go over the rules and procedures, your students already know where your classroom is valued and learning is not boring. By the time they have escaped, your students have not only worked together and had a blast, but they've also absorbed a powerful lesson that failure isn't the end, it's part of the journey. Now, I know the biggest pushback I hear from teachers is that they're afraid to try a printable escape room because they worry that it might get too loud, too difficult to manage, especially if your students are overexcited or off task. Navigating short attention spans, varied learning styles, and differentiation is hard. But what if I told you there's a way to reinforce learning that doesn't involve over-reliance on screens, expensive classroom resources, confusing lesson plans, extended prep, or crazy cleanup time? Gamification can be your ally in transforming even the most reluctant learners into active, eager participants. Even better, while your students are having a blast, they're also mastering skills and conquering cross-curricular standards. I call that a win-win. But remember, teachers are learners too. Embracing new challenges not only helps you grow as an educator, but it also sets a powerful example for your students. Stepping outside of your comfort zone is truly where the magic happens, and the impact it has on your students can truly be transformative. Listen, you guys, we have all been there, facing those blank stares, those distant daydreams during a lesson. But what if you turned those passive learning moments into an active learning adventure? I could seriously talk all day about how gamification and student-centered learning has transformed my classroom, but I want to remind you of the famous words from our favorite genius, Albert Einstein, who says, "You can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect different results." It is time to bid farewell to teaching methods and embrace the magic of gamification. Imagine a classroom where students want to complete their work and even beg to do more. Imagine student accountability and a sense of urgency to complete the task. Imagine a classroom where learning isn't confined to a lecture or textbooks, and kids are so engaged they don't even realize they're learning. Most students do not walk into your classroom motivated to learn, and it's your job as a teacher to trigger that inner motivation. How, you ask? You're gonna cloak the learning with game elements. With game elements, students who feel unable to contribute in classroom discussions or who are hesitant to answer questions, they're given new avenues for participation. Suddenly, that feeling of being left out or overwhelmed is replaced by excitement. Students want to complete the assignment because of the added challenge of solving that mystery, of unscrambling that word, or determining the secret 4-digit code. We all know as adults the fun of a puzzle, be it a crossword, a cipher, a jigsaw puzzle. So let's incorporate those same feelings into education for our students. And if you're feeling nervous, please be encouraged that increased movement in the classroom actually correlates with less need for classroom management. So I want you to ditch any limiting beliefs you have about your students. Are you limiting the depth of lessons or assignments because you think your students can't handle it? You might not even realizing you're doing this, so don't be afraid to raise the bar and push your students to greater heights. Learning how to strategically cloak the learning with the twist of fun is the key to not only your teacher sanity, but also to building lasting relationships, igniting curiosity, and sparking creativity. So, are you ready to take your lessons to the next level with a twist of fun? If you're looking for easy ways to gamify your worksheets and make learning irresistible, I've got you covered. Jump into my free gamification workshop and grab 3 free gamified lessons just for showing up. If you're a teacher who's ready to step out of your comfort zone and help your students do the same, this workshop is perfect for you. My challenge for you this school year is to take a risk, to try student-centered learning to hook your kids that very first week of school.
Another great session. Now it's time to apply for that scholarship. You'll find the link in the show notes, your email, and the Facebook group. And yes, scholarship winners will be revealed live on June 26th, so you better time out and go fill out that application now.